Hi, Gbolahan. Please proceed.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Akinbola, and today I'll be speaking on the topic that is mostly overlooked. A topic that is so dangerous and mostly overlooked in cybersecurity. Social engineering, the art of the human hack. Basically, we get to understand that because of the truth is attackers don't always break into systems with codes, not all the time. Sometimes they simply break into people. In the next few minutes, I'll get to explore, together we should get to explore how social engineering, how it works, why it is so effective, and how we can defend against it. So just stay with me and let's get to unravel that. Now, what's the big idea about when you talk about social engineering? Basically, you get to see that the easiest way into a system is through a person. More often than not, what comes to mind is running on codes. We get to invest more in technology and all that. Firms get to invest more in technology and whatnot. The weakest link, which is the person, okay? When we think of hacking, often we imagine someone attacking firewalls, cracking passwords and the like. But the key thing is attackers know something more important than that. And they do know that organizations invest heavily in technology. That's one thing they know. Also, they do know that, yes, even when organizations invest in technology and the like, humans remain, they still understand that humans remain the weakest link to getting to actually penetrating any firm. So they understand that you can patch servers, you can do that. You can upgrade the firewall. They know that. But they understand that fine, you cannot patch human emotions. You can't do that. You cannot patch trust, fear, urgency. You can't patch that. So because they understand that, so that's the crucial reason why social engineering is often the first step in major breaches. That's the first key thing. These hackers, these bad actors, that is the first thing they try to explore. Now, let's get to break down. What is social engineering? What's social engineering? When we talk about social engineering, so what exactly are we talking about? So basically, in the most simplest form, we can say it is the act of psychologically manipulating someone into doing something that compromises security. The essence is to compromise security. So we are talking about the act of manipulating somebody psychologically into doing something ordinarily they wouldn't have done, just to compromise security. So like you see, like it depicts in the picture there, it's an act of manipulation of the brain, hacking the brain, like working on someone's psyche, so to say. working on your psyche, trying to manipulate them on, especially the first thing is try to gain trust and the like. So once they are able to do that, then other things follow. So that's that. Then actually, instead of exploiting software vulnerabilities as otherwise thought, attackers exploit human vulnerabilities instead of the software vulnerabilities. They exploit human vulnerabilities instead. For example, we're talking about clicking a malicious link. They send a link to you, and okay, they actually want you to click that so that they can actually use that as a bait to gain access. Then things like sharing login credentials. They want you to share login credentials to sensitive data or files. They want to approving MFA requests. They want you to approve MFA requests. Another example is I want you to allow physical access to restricted areas. For instance, you might see maybe a well-structured organization. One of the key things they do is every staff have their swipe card to gain access, to gain entry. So, but at a point in time, you might see someone from nowhere. Now, because the organization is so large that not everyone knows every other person in different departments. There are different departments. So, but for instance, you can see someone like you are the verge of accessing the door, and you just swiped, and it opens, and you just see someone, hey, just a minute, came right behind you and say, sorry, I forgot my swipe, and you got in together. So normally you would have that person has worked on your psyche in that, okay, you seem okay, it's nice, it's a nice thing, you have an obligation to be helpful and all that, and in the course of doing that, it's been explored adversely. So that's one of the crucial things to do too. Now, so in simple terms, because social engineering is hacking the person, not the machine. Hacking the person.
Hi, Gbolahan, your slide is not moving.
Is it moving?
No, it's not changing.
It's not changing.
Hmm.
Is it changing now? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it's not changing.
It's not changing. It's not changing.
It's not changing.
Kindly confirm. What can you see on the screen?
It's just like the first page where you wrote social engineering, then the acts of the human hack. That's all.
Oh wow, we actually gone past that. We've gone past that. I wouldn't know. Is it possible? Is it possible to? Hello, Miss Alabisi. Is it possible to? I wouldn't know if you could help share from there, so I'll walk through
But
if it's
Gbolahan,
possible.
I thought this is this is this is Google
Hello.
Slides, right?
Yes, Google Slide.
Is this Google Slides?
Yes, it's
So
Google
how
Slide.
come I'm trying to see how come you're not able?
It's changing from my end. It's actually changing from my end. It's changing from my
Okay,
end.
maybe you can just stop and reshare.
I think you should only that screen. Try sharing your full
Okay.
screen. So like you go on
Okay.
full screen.
Okay, I'll reshare. I'm
You
resharing
can stop
right away.
sharing and share it again then.
All right. Just a minute. Is it better now? Is it moving now?
No, it's not moving. It's not
It's not
moving.
moving. It's still not moving.
Are you sharing your full screen?
Yes, full screen.
Hi, Gbolahan. Let me share from my end, please. You can stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Just drop,
Thank you.
drop it.
All right.
All right.
Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
So,
sorry for the
sorry
interruption.
for the interruption.
So we got
So,
to
we got to start afresh.
So,
So,
basically,
we
we got to introduce,
got to introduce social
engineering
Recording in progress.
as the art
As
of,
the art of
the human
the
heart.
human heart.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
but your voice is echoing.
voice is echoing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Olabisi, you need to
Olabisi, you
mute
need to
her mic.
mute her mic.
Hello.
You can go ahead, Gbolahan. You can go ahead.
Oh, better. Thank you. So, back to the first slide. Okay. The first page, please. So we got to start afresh from the first page. Oh, thank you. Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Gbolahan Akinbola, and today we'll be looking at a topic that is overlooked, a topic that is one of the most dangerous in cybersecurity. However, it's overlooked. So, social engineering, the act of the human hack. Now, because the truth is, attackers don't always break into systems with code. More often than not, we get to think when we talk about think of hacking. The first thing is what comes to mind almost immediately is the system, the codes, and the likes. But attackers understand some other important things than that, and that's why we're talking about this morning. Now, because they understand the truth that so sometimes they simply break into people. And in the next few minutes, we'll explore how social engineering works, why it works, what makes it so effective, and what we can do to defend it. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, the big picture, we're talking of social engineering. The big picture, when we think of hacking, we often imagine someone, like I said, password coding, crack. No. What attackers understand, the important things they understand is that they understand that organizations invest heavily in technology. That's one thing they understand. That yet, despite the fact that organizations invest heavily on technology, they do understand that human still remains the weakest link, the easiest entry point any organization. They do understand that. And they do understand that you can patch servers. Yes, they understand that. They understand that you can patch firewalls, you can upgrade firewalls. They do understand that you can upgrade firewalls. But they know that you can't patch human emotions like fear, trust, urgency. They do understand that you cannot patch that. And because you cannot patch that, It's a key reason why social engineering is often the first step into major breaches. Next slide, please. Now, social engineering. What is social engineering in itself? What exactly is it, does it entail? What is social engineering? Now, we should understand that social engineering, simply put, is an act of manipulating someone into doing something that compromises security. Okay, the essence is to compromise security. Okay, now as the picture depicts, you see, it's not about hacking the technology, the laptops, the codes, and no. Here we are talking of human manipulation. They get to work on your psyche, the brain. So like they do understand that okay, you have an obligation to be nice and things like that. And what do? They take advantage of that, and boom, before you know it, boom, they are in. So that's the essence of our discussion. So instead of exploring, no, I'm not done. I'm not done with the previous slide. I'm not done with the previous slide. So instead of exploring, instead of exploring software vulnerabilities, so attackers, they explore human vulnerabilities. For instance, having you to click on malicious codes. That's one way. Another example is having you to share login credentials. That's another way. Thirdly, they can have you to approve multi-factor authentication, MFAs. Send a request and have you to approve that. That's another way. Then also, they could also have you allow physical access to restricted areas, just like I was trying to illustrate earlier, that for instance, you're in a larger firm and someone comes, like one of the requirements to have access is to have a swipe card. Yes, and from nowhere, you are just about having access, and someone from nowhere just, just a minute, hold it, comes close, and what happens? Sorry, I forgot my card. I forgot my card at home, and both of you gain entrance. That's a breach in itself. So you didn't see it coming, but it's a breach. It's gone. Next slide, please. Yeah. So why does social engineering, why does it work? What makes it work, really? So when you get to look at their process, you get to see that, okay, the first thing they do is to, okay, we look at 5 key things, which is trust, fear. We work on trust, fear, urgency, curiosity, and authority. The first thing that happens is immediately you have an encounter with bad actors. What they do is, the first thing is they try to gain your trust. For instance, just last week, when I just after submitting my topic for approval, a call came in. Hello, I'm calling from like immediately it was tied to one of the groups I belong on WhatsApp, a parent platform, this, that, you know. What's that person trying to do? Like the first thing for him to gain my trust, like, okay, we have a connection, a working connection, I can, okay, then move from there. Then secondly, you got to say that, okay, now social engineering works because it targets, let's understand that it targets natural human behavior, okay? It targets natural human behavior. Now, attackers don't need to be technical. No, they don't need to be technical geniuses, like they know it all and things like, no. They just need to know key few things that works, that most people focus on other things, technical things, no. Now, they need to be good at influencing emotions. Okay, they need to be very good at that. Once they understand how to influence emotions, then they are as good as having 95% of the job done. Okay, here are the main triggers. Fear. Now, when we talk of fear, now you can hear something like, I'm from IT support. They call you from the bank. The first thing, I'm from IT support. Then the next thing they tell you is your account will be locked. That is fear. Then you hear act now, or your account will be closed or something, or you missed payroll. Act now, or you miss payroll. So that means there are tight urgency to it. You want your salary to be paid. Okay, you have attached urgency to it. Then the next thing you hear something like, look at this document about you. So that's curiosity. If attached curiosity for you to, okay, act on something. Then you can also hear something like, okay, this is coming from your manager. So that's authority to back it up. So attackers understand psychology. They understand it very well. And once emotions take over, logic often takes the back seat. That's crucial. Point to note. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, let's unravel the various common attack types. We have phishing, vishing, smishing, pretexting, baiting, and like so. Now, let's break that down. Let's break down the most common social engineering types. Now, and I want us to clearly see the differences. Okay. Now we go step by step. And now phishing. When we talk of phishing, now the thing that should come to mind is phishing is email based. Okay, it is email based. Okay, understand that. Attackers send fake emails pretending to be legitimate, so come from legitimate sources. E.g., you can get that from banks, from HR, from IT support, from vendors. I'm sure most of us have had one experience or the other, or we have family, relative, friends who have had instances or encounters of such. Now, the goal here is the goal here is to ensure that they trick you into clicking a link or entering important credentials, which ordinarily shouldn't have been divulged. Now, let's look at vision. Now, when you think of vision, we are thinking of voice-based phishing. It's still phishing, but voice-based. That's a call coming in now, as against phishing, which is email-based. Now, this happens by phone calls. Okay, yeah, hello, this is IT. Please confirm your OTP. This, that. Just like what that example I gave last week. The guy called me. So that's vision. He actually called me and all that, and before I knew it, he wanted me to call up a code, and ordinarily, immediately he called and I started listening to him. I understood immediately that, okay, this is not right. So what did I do? The first question I asked him was, okay, the information I said, we have a meeting by 10 p.m. tonight, and he actually wants me to confirm that. I said, okay, no problem. The information you are sharing, is it on the platform we both belong? Is it on the platform we both belong? Immediately he heard that, he dropped. So that's that. So you hear something. So the next thing, smishing. Smishing. When you hear of smishing, that's SMS based. Okay, this is phishing through text messages. Okay, you hear something like your delivery is pending. Click here. So delivery is pending. Click here. Most mobile users are most likely to click quickly, or you hear something like, okay, you have just won yourself 1 million, and in your head you have series of debts to take care of, and you have that car you've been eyeing, and maybe you want to your marriage, you want to do marriage in a very, very exquisite location, and things like that are already running through your head within seconds, and you don't even want to share it with anybody. You want it like, the moment the thing comes, the moment the 10 million lands, so person we know, they understand. So you won't even share it to anybody. That even makes it riskier. At least there should be a trusted person you can. So you do it in isolation, and boom, get scammed. So the next thing is pretexting. So when you're pretexting, what should come to mind is fake identity as a story or a story. Now here, attackers create a believable scenario. For example, I'm a new vendor this I'm an vendor and can resend the invoice. Can you resend the invoice? I'm a new vendor. Can you resend the invoice details? Now, the difference is this relies heavily on acting and trust building, not urgency. Okay. Now the next is baiting. Now using temptation. Now attackers lure victims with something attractive. For instance, like free USB drives, free downloads, fake giveaways, and the likes. So the difference here is they exploit curiosity. This exploits curiosity and greed, not fear. Exploit curiosity and greed, not fear. Okay. Now, so the main difference is often the channel with which it's been orchestrated, and the emotion triggered. Okay, that's the main difference. Now, next slide, please. Now, real world impact. Now, social engineering is not theoretical. Okay, unlike the technical part and code systems and no, it's not theoretical. Some of the biggest breaches in history started with one human mistake. For example, Twitter in 2020, there was a breach. So Twitter began with employee social engineering. Twitter's 2020 breach began with employee social engineering, and another example is MGM Resorts, which faced a massive disruption from a simple help desk manipulation. So a single click can lead to credential theft. It can lead to data loss. It can lead to financial fraud. It can lead to reputational damage. Okay, so the attacker doesn't need everyone. They just need just one person. The attacker needs just one person, and that's it. Next slide, please. Okay. Yeah, part of the another key example that comes to mind. Another key example that comes to mind. You get this bank. That escaped my mind now. So, but the key thing we are trying to talk about is okay. Once this has been explored, not 1 million, more often than not, they target large corporations and the likes, and you and I, we are not immune to this. Like I shared with you last week, I think this, and most of us have had personal experiences. So it's not just about personal big banks and large corporations and no. So one key thing that strikes me is the fact that these people, they know no bound. They know no bound. Really, they know no bound. Like they just explore every opportunity that comes their way. And so, like we said earlier, next slide, please. Like we said earlier, they explore trust. Trust. Once they gain your trust, they move forward to manipulating you. Once they manipulate you, they gain access, and after gaining access, boom, the breach has occurred. So most social engineering attacks follow that same pattern. They follow that same pattern. At every point in time, they build trust, manipulate your behavior, they gain access, then next thing they exploit systems. So that's it. That's why awareness matters a lot. Awareness matters a lot because attackers are often patient. They can do reconnaissance, they can get information. They can take a lot of time to get information, but once they are done with getting information, striking is straight up. So they study organization, they study LinkedIn profiles, they study email. So we should be mindful of what we share too. Personal content, we should make sure, okay, this thing goes out, we should have everything. If it goes out, okay, what can I do before we share? Okay, they look through LinkedIn profiles, Facebook, email patterns. So these are things they explore. Now, then once they are done getting all this, they strike when the opportunity is perfect. Now, defense mechanism now. Now, first we have verify, pause, multi-factor authentication, that's MFA, then reports, then awareness. Okay, so how do we defend? Now, the strongest defense is not just technology. While technology is good, okay, but then it needs to be complemented with a human behavior. So the key actions here: verify, request before acting. Okay, verify. So if a link comes up or someone calls you, or you get an email, a phishing email, you can as well call. Hello, I got this email. Please, can you verify this? Can you help with this? Can you do that? So you do that. Request, call, request before you act. Don't just okay. Let me say it. So also pause when urgency is introduced. More often than not, you get to see okay. You have 3 hours to go. Time counting. The time urgency to it. So when that is being introduced, pause and think of the right thing to do, right approach. Okay. Now use multi-factor authentication. Like always, I'm very sure that most of us up till this moment, we still don't have multi-factor authentication on our channels, our emails. We don't have MFAs. Our WhatsApp, we don't have MFAs. Facebook, we don't have MFAs. Emails, we don't have MFAs. Until it's been hacked, then you get crying, and you can imagine the impact. Like, for instance, a family friend the WhatsApp account was hacked, and before she could say Jesus is Lord, this person has gotten in touch with friends, church members, and millions was being expected from this person. Even before she was able to remediate, millions was being expected from that process, just because this person didn't do what? Put in multi-factor authentication. So that's one crucial thing to do. Then also we need to report suspicious messages immediately. You get suspicious messages after verifying it and all that. You report. So unnecessary actions can be taken. Now there is also need for continuous awareness trainings. Okay, we get to train employees, train department leads, members, train people in churches, train people. You understand? It's very important for awareness training from time to time. Now, a good rule is if it feels urgent, a good rule is if it feels urgent, emotional, or unusual, verify first. That's the rule of thumb. If it feels urgent, emotional, or unusual, the first thing you should do is what? To verify. Now, next slide, please. Yeah, here's a quick quiz. We call this a quick quiz. Now, what would you click? Would you click this message? Now, would you click this message? Now, let's make this interactive. Imagine you receive a message saying your payroll account has been locked. Click here immediately. What would you do? I'm sure many people will click instantly. They will click instinctively. They just click without having to think and all that. But the safer response would have been pause. Just pause. Then verify sender. Verify sender. The first thing, you can also hover. Okay, the sender. If it's an email, you can hover over the sender's email. Okay, get to hover over the email. More often than not, they get to veil. They get to veil, like masquerade the email. It's coming from somewhere else, but by the time you hover over it, the real identity is being revealed. The email, you go hover over that. So if it's a call, if it's an SMS, you can call the right channel and confirm. I'm getting this. Is this coming from you? And all that. So verify. So that's very important. Then contact IT through official channels. Go official. If it's a bank, you can call the bank directly. Say, I got this email, this, and they will actually put you through and put right things in place. Now, this is the mindset shift. Okay, social engineering awareness creates. This is the mindset shift. Social engineering awareness creates. That's what it creates. Okay. So next slide, please. Now, the human firewall. Now, human firewall. Now, technology is important. Yes, like we said earlier, technology is important, but humans are the real front line. Technology is important. Who operates technology now? Is it not you and I? Who operates the phone? You and I. The laptop? You and I. Who operates the systems? You and I. The car? You and I. So we are the real front line. Okay. So when employees are trained, they become a human firewall. Okay. The goal here is not perfection. Okay. The goal here is not perfection. No. So, but the goal here is awareness. For as many people that needs to be aware, there needs for awareness and consistent orientation on this subject matter. Now, because one employee that is on the alert can stop an attack. Can stop an attacking, okay? Can stop an attack before it starts. One alert employee can stop an attacking before it starts. So it's very important we take note of this. Next slide, please. Now, in closing, let's remember that, okay? We say technology can be patched. Let's remember that technology can be patched. Human must be trained. Technology can be patched. Humans must be trained. Okay, so to wrap up, now social engineering reminds us that cybersecurity is not just technical. Understand that it's not just technical; it's human too. It's human too. So attackers don't always hack systems; they hack trust. Let's remember that they hack trust, they hack fear, they hack urgency and curiosity. Okay, let's take note of that. Trust, fear, urgency, curiosity. And that's why security is everyone's responsibility. That's why security is everyone's responsibility. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. I hope with this I've been able to share some lights on the subject matter. Let's discuss. I have a few questions. And the floor is open for discussions. If you have questions,